you own this item, you can take it with you. You can take it with you wherever you want, and you can use it on other applications besides high rise. And the main applications that you would use it in today would be marketplaces. So you would go to some marketplace and go and sell your NFT or buy another NFT or rent it out if somebody wants to borrow it because you own that property. High rise doesn't own that property. You own that property. And that's why I'm really excited about it because I think it's a big revolution. I think it gives a lot more power to the people who own the content than honestly to platforms like us. And I know that's like counter to our own interests as a company, but I believe in that future. I think that's a really important, compelling, powerful future. Uh, and that's why we're pushing in that direction. Um, it's definitely not because we're trying to make a bunch of money off these NFTs, but rather I actually think that our platform can just be much bigger and much more powerful. Not the platform, but the not so much powerful, but more, I guess, accessible and broader when we give so much more value and power to the community and the users as opposed to us. So that's kind of why we're doing it. That's why we're pricing the NFTs relatively low to what would be expected of us, given how much demand there is. And it's because we're trying to give the value to the community, honestly. Um, sorry, I'm going to get off my soapbox and start answering some questions. Um, what's the plan after the NFT stuff? What are we tackling? So I'll share some of that. One is, and it's not just after, we're concurrently working on this. One thing that we're working on is a marketplace. I think I shared about this last week, but we're we're almost done with it. We're going to release a marketplace where you can buy, sell, and trade within high rise using gold. A lot of people have been asking for adding prices to storefronts, or for a long time, people have been adding for marketplaces. Well, we're finally doing it. Um, that's one thing we're doing. We're we're adding some smaller features like you can invite people to your room through the messenger. You can long press on an emote to loop it for any emote, so it makes any emote a dance or a loopable emote. Um, we are adding an announcements feature so that when we make an announcement, it's going to be pinned to the top of the news feed so that news doesn't get lost. Where else are we going? We have a design for the next version of Spectate where spectators will be able to chat, and there's going to be some other functionality and features for that. Oh, somebody's asking, why are the Facebook and Instagram high-rise ads totally not how high-rise is? I can answer that if you stop saying. So I'll say there are kind of two category of high-rise ads that we create. One category is the social category, which is making friends and meeting new people, and the other category is dress up. Now, within those two categories, we make lots and lots of variations. We work with agencies. We also have an internal team. And yes, a lot of those ads aren't exactly high rise. I would say they're in the spirit of high rise, which is, again, they're about making friends and meeting people on one end. And on the other end, they're about dress up or some variation of dress up. One thing is I wish that the stuff that we have in the ads we could make in the game. A lot of it is actually very hard or impossible to do. The reason why we do it, I've shared this before. It's an ugly truth. I'm sorry, but it's because if we didn't serve those kinds of ads, we wouldn't be able to advertise at all. I don't know if you've seen this, but it's literally this is what the market looks like. Trav, I think you're kind of being really I don't know. It feels like you're not really listening. So for the 70% women comment, first of all, it wasn't us. And then secondly, it was Superfarm saying that uh, us getting into crypto is making crypto more inclusive. And then, I'm just being honest with you about the ads. It's either no ads at all or ads that are relevant, which is making friends and meeting people and dress up. Um, but they need to attract an audience, right? Like people need to be able to see it, and that's unfortunately the mobile gaming landscape. I'm assuming you guys browse Instagram and Facebook, and I'm assuming you see that almost every single ad on there is some variation of what that game is, but it's not that game. Um, all right. Yeah, we'd love to do an ad making contest. That sounds like a great idea. Will hires ever make a place for display items and items you'd like to sell? Yeah. So, like I said, we're rolling out the marketplace. So the marketplace is the items you'd like to sell. So I would imagine that actually storefronts will start to look like mostly displays. Um, by the way, the comment about children, if you're under 13, you're not allowed to be here. If you see someone who's under 13, report them. Our trust and safety team will act on it quickly. So just make sure to do that. Also on the App Store, we're listed as 17 plus. We do that on purpose. Let's see. Sorry, I'm looking through some of the questions. Is there going to be an art competition calendar? I think there will be. I think Patrick can chime in on that, but I'm pretty sure that's going to be happening. Um, yeah, I love the idea of enriching the storefront, the not for sale storefront. I think that's really important. Let's see. Trav, I think you're just being aggressive at this point. I, I'd love to hear other people's thoughts, but our trust and safety team has been pretty intense about banning people who are under 13. Um, when they get reports, they act quickly. Uh, if anyone else, thinks to the contrary, you should also share. But, that's kind of their point. That's the point of that team, and that's what they do. And in my opinion, they do it pretty well. Let's see. Any other questions? What will happen to player designed items? Will they become NFTs? Um, we haven't really thought about that, to be honest. Maybe what we would do is ask the player designers what they think and kind of what their opinions are. Um, there's no plans to at the moment, but we would like to unlock more value for high-rise users by making more items into NFTs if possible, because I think that it just gives you a lot more value. Right now, you have this item that you can go and trade and buy and sell anywhere. Um, a lot of the designers are wanting to quit because of NFTs. So yeah, I mean, maybe you can share more about that. Why are people wanting to quit because of or at least the designers wanting to quit because of the NFTs? So T controversy, you ask why in order for you to get your account back, you have to show proof of ID that you are that age. However, you all allow 13-year-olds to play if you were reported for being underage. I don't know what that means, but literally you're kind of confirming what I was saying about our trust and safety team, which is they ban you and then they ask you for your ID if there's reason to believe you're under 13. That's just what we do. That's what our trust and safety team does. Why does our support ask for ID? Trav, because we're serious about people under 13 not being on the platform. Literally, the thing that you're complaining about is the thing that our trust and safety team does to prevent people who are under 13. Um, anyway, could we get an option to report a whole count for harassment or predatory behavior? Um, I thought that existed. Uh, Maybe it doesn't, but we can take a look. Maybe Patrick, if you want to add that to the list, we can review. But I thought there was an option for that. If you go into profile, I think there's like a report button and you can report them for that kind of thing. Let's see. Uh, Trav, sorry, are you saying that I'm snickering at your questions? I don't think I'm snickering. I'm actually responding to your questions. Noosh, it's too much to type, but in short, the designers are quitting because they feel that the player base is being ignored in favor of the NFT crowd. I'd love to hear what you mean by the player base being ignored, or what we're doing that makes it feel like the player base is being ignored. Um, I'll say that I think we're doing both. We started this AMA program like 6 weeks ago. I've been doing AMAs every week. We're definitely building out lots of features for high rise that I already talked about. Um, and yeah, but I mean, again, I'd love to hear more about that. I know it's a lot to type out, so let's figure out a way to connect that's not text. Um, let's see. Someone asked, will they drop on OpenSea? So OpenSea has yet to support immutable X. So when OpenSea does support immutable X, then you'll be able to exchange them on OpenSea, but not as of now. As of now, you'll have to use the immutable marketplace or token trove. Let's see. I'm just looking through some of these questions. Why are a lot of the items account bound, and why is it so hard to get tradable items? So the reason why a lot of items are account bound is because uh, those are the items that you can kind of very easily earn for free, um, that we essentially give away. Uh, the reason why we do that is because if we didn't, then people would make tons and tons of new accounts and essentially exploit the free items, and then they would completely kind of destroy the scarcity around an item. And so we actually introduced account bound items so that we could give more stuff away uh, to the player base without affecting the economy. So that's why we have account bound items in the first place. Can we complete the grabs with promo tokens to get legendaries? Yes, you can. So the promo tokens count towards that. Let's see. How are kids under age 16 able to get their accounts back if they need an ID? I believe if you're under 16, you still have an ID of some sort. Most people have an ID. It's kind of a requirement to live in most countries, from what I understand, like a passport, let's say. Um, well, we don't require a state ID by necessity. Any ID that indicates age is sufficient. I have a question about editing. Wondering, what was the editing question? Um, I have a question about editing. Wondering if they will be adding multiple viewpoints to make it easier. By viewpoints, you mean like turning the screen? Unfortunately, we can't do that because we're a 2D app. Because we're a 2D app, you can't like rotate or anything like that. Everything has this one isometric view, so like looking at it from the top down. So we're not going to be able to do that. Why is it so hard to get gold and nearly impossible to get gold from the wheel? Because gold is the currency that we really don't want exploited. Because if it is exploited, it causes crazy inflation and makes it really hard for anyone to play the economy game. Sorry, let me just look through the history. Will there be another recolor or redesign contest? Yes, definitely. That's going to happen. I can't give you a date though. Does the plan allow old existing items, not player made in a game, to be minted into NFTs? It's likely that we're gonna go in that direction. I really think it unlocks a lot of value for anyone who's holding those items. So personally, I'm excited about doing that. Now, we haven't developed any technology around that, but I think it's a big opportunity for people who use high rise. Let's see. Sorry, I'm just looking through the questions.